Because oftentimes when your team member isn't successful, the first thing we want to do is we want to blame them. But sometimes it's us and us not having the proper onboarding for that team member. Well, welcome to the Six Figure Speakers Training. This is a weekly training that we do here, sponsored by Speaking for Profit University, where we talk about how to monetize your message and take your business, your brand, and your expertise to the next level. We also talk about how to get financially free. And I'm just excited to get into today's conversation, which is tips on how to assemble a team to elevate your business to six figures. So if you're listening right now, just go on to put hashtag live in the comments. If you are listening in the near and dear future, put hashtag replay. And I'm really hoping that this conversation can guide folks who already have team members or who are thinking about hiring team members, how to do it in a successful way. And I want to be transparent with y'all. I've made my mistakes. I've done things that I'm really proud of and things that I'm like, dang, you know what, Evolve, you could be doing a little bit better when it comes to hiring teams. So really excited for us to get into today's conversation. And I want to shout out everyone in Speaking for Profit Academy. That is my core program within Speaking for Profit University, where we particularly help speakers to develop not only a skill set, but the business acumen to be able to acquire high paid contracts anywhere between 5 to 6 figures repeatably, right? And be able to build a sustainable business. And what I'm really excited to share is that there's a really great conference coming up. It's called the Trans-Tech Summit. I'm actually on the board for that summit, and we've got so many presentations coming in. I'm actually going to do some reviewing of those presentations this afternoon. And I gave my clients in that program an early opportunity to submit to the conference because it's a paid opportunity. And I've seen so many of your applications come through that funnel. And I just want to give you all good love and good energy for imperfect action. I know that it's hard sometimes to submit to conferences and events and to really feel connected to purpose and the mission of that. And sometimes these events aren't paid. So to be able to do it, know it's paid, I think that gave y'all a little bit of an extra perk, but also to know I'm involved. So it's so cool, like I said, to see so many of your presentations come through. So congratulations on that. I see we got some folks here in the space, and I'm happy y'all are here. So let's get into today's conversation. The reason I wanted to talk about this in particular, y'all, is I had the great opportunity recently to travel to Brazil, which was really amazing. I actually was in Salvador, Bahia, Brazil, and this is considered one of the blackest cities in Brazil and in the world, to be honest, besides some of the cities in the continent of Africa. So to be in Brazil was amazing. One of the main reasons I was going to Bahia is that one of my friends from college, Ronell Perry, is a travel guide and an amazing resource. And he's been traveling the world since I've known him, to be honest with you, since we were in college. And he moved to Brazil during the pandemic and has really been living there and enjoying his life. And he describes it as an amazing place to do some healing and for Black queer folks. So he put on an event in Bahia, particularly to bring Black women, Black non-binary folks to Brazil, or folks of color in particular, to be able to celebrate the day of Yemaya. And Yemaya is a goddess of the water, of the ocean, and particularly Bahia is positioned in Brazil off of some amazing, and I'm sorry if y'all hear construction in the background. They're doing some work in front of our house and didn't even really get any type of consent around that, but that's a whole nother story. We can talk about those type of politics later on. But anyways, Bahia, Brazil is placed off of a shore, right, off of water. So particularly they have a lot of seafood dishes there, and praying to Yemaya, the goddess of water, is so important in their culture because they get so much of their economy, love, and spirituality from the ocean. So it was a beautiful event because literally there's thousands of people that go out to the water to give Yemaya, give the water offerings, whether that's roses or particular things, to really just thank her and thank that feminine energy for providing the fish the water, the cleanliness of that city and of the world. So it was a beautiful event, something I had never experienced before. And we got to do some other spiritual ceremonies during that time. On Fridays in Brazil, they wear white to really acknowledge that reset and that cleanliness and that spirituality. And the orishas are really big in Bahia, Brazil. So everywhere you go, you see different gods and goddesses around, and that acknowledgement is very much sacred in that space. So I knew that I needed to be there. And my partner and I decided over the summer that we were going to invest in this retreat, be there and be able to experience it and do some healing work, because we have found ourselves needing that support and needing more of a spiritual practice. So when we put this on the calendar, I was extremely excited about it. But anytime I have to put a big event on the calendar, I immediately start to think about, how do I experience this event and still keep my business running? And I want to say that one of the ways that I've been able to really do that is by having an amazing and a phenomenal team. Team is it, y'all. If you understand what I'm saying, I'm going to put the word team in the comments. Team is it. If I didn't have a team, being able to step away and experience this beautiful ceremony in Brazil wouldn't have been able to be possible. Being able to step away last summer and spend a whole month in Europe wouldn't have been impossible. So one of the things that often happens, and what I've seen from many creators and many entrepreneurs, is that they'll create a business, right, that they're stuck working in and not able to actually be free. And one of the reasons that we do want to be entrepreneurs, at least one of the reasons I wanted to be an entrepreneur and I wanted to leave my 9-to-5 at that time, was because I wanted more freedom to be able to do things like travel and be in places without having to worry about checking in with the boss. But if you have a business that's always running, it's hard to do that. So I have 3 team members right now, and I'll break that down for you all a little bit later, what those team members are and what they do, and how I've been able to find them and all of that. Because I know that some of you are interested in that. Some of you are making money in your business, but you're investing it back into things that don't really help you not only scale profit, but scale also freedom. And I'm going to tell you right now, in order to scale freedom in your business, you need a team. So I'll tell you about who my team members are today and ways that I've been able to find them, and some of the pros and cons, and how I prepare my team for some of these big trips. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's training. But I just wanted to share with you how powerful my time was in Brazil and how thankful I am. I want to shout out Ronell. Ronell, thank you so much for holding space for my partner and I. And I want to shout out all of the amazing folks that I met during that great retreat. It's so interesting. I was thinking, because we literally did spiritual practices together while we were there. And I was thinking about how you're born. We're all born on a particular day. And these moments happen where we make decisions, and these decisions lead us to meeting other people, right? So we all made that decision, the group of us, and it was 7 of us, my partner and 5 other amazing souls who decided to travel to Bahia and be guided by Ronell. We all decided that at a particular moment in our lives, and that brought us all together, right? And if we weren't born on this planet at the time we were and able to make those decisions, we wouldn't have been able to be there together. So it's just divine timing and divine energy, and I'm just super thankful. So someone says, so glad you and your partner had that opportunity. I'm so thankful too. And it's so interesting, y'all. And then I'll get into some of the content for today. But when we planned this particular event, we weren't necessarily in a place where we were necessarily needing the healing. We were definitely always looking to explore more spiritual practice, more connection with God and goddesses and orishas, and just more time with ancestors, right? But we weren't in a physical space where we were like, I need to be healed. But by the time this event came around, there were some physical things that were happening with my partner and even with myself, where we were like, you know what? We actually really do need to go to the water and be healed and have this time for spiritual practice. So it's also so interesting how you'll make a decision in the past that will really inform the future. So I say all that to say that when you're being intuitive with yourself and something is calling you to do it, go on and do it, because you never know what you're really going to need, right? You just never know that. So before we get into how I assembled my team and that team that has allowed me to elevate to six figures and also have the freedom of time to be able to travel, like I said, to Europe and recently to Brazil, I want to share with you all a great opportunity that's actually happening next week. So I'm hosting a 5-day challenge starting February 12th. This is the first one of 2024. For folks who went through it in 2023, I'm adding some new stuff, right? It's going to be some new curriculum added in to be able to really support everyone in building out and sustaining a six-figure business. So in order to have a six-figure business, y'all, one thing you got to know is you got to be able to secure 5-figure contracts, right? If we can secure at least, let's say, $10,000 contracts, that gets us to our 100K. If we're able to double that and do 20,000, right, it gets us there quicker, or we'll have 200K on the other end of the year. So this challenge is particularly for people who want to scale their business to be able to negotiate and secure 5-figure contracts. We break everything down from the business model, how you can set that up, to what type of offers you need to be creating, how do you get in contact with decision makers, how do you set up your LinkedIn for success. And what's so really cool about it is you get 1 hour of training a day, right? Which is amazing. But also, if you decide to upgrade to the VIP, you get to get coached by me for an hour a day as well. So it's a great opportunity to get to know me and my framework, more about speaking for profit, but also for you to take the time to commit to growing your business. And I would love for you to be there. So go over to speakingforprofit.com/5-day challenge. Go on and sign up. We would love to have you there. We have a few more spots available. And again, we're starting on Monday. And this is going to be a great opportunity for anyone who's looking to scale their business. I posted this earlier on my Facebook page, but I'm going to share it with you here today. Someone who went through our challenge in December, that was the last one we had in 2023, already secured an $8,000 opportunity this year, right? So the practices and the things that we're teaching actually do work. And I want that for you, but I want you to know this is not another fluff theory, just informational challenge. This is actually a challenge where you'll do things and implement things every day so that you can be successful, right? So if you're able to be there, please show up and show out. We would love to have you. Attention public speakers, coaches, and consultants. Ever dreamt of booking 5-figure speaking and consulting contracts? In just 5 days, I'm teaching my tried and tested system to elevate your speaking and consulting business. Forget the cold emails, bypass the salesy pitches. This challenge is about building genuine high-value connections. And here's a promise I have for you. With a commitment of just 1 to 2 hours a day for 5 days, you're going to witness transformative results. On day 1, you'll learn how to craft a business strategy without cold emails or paying to speak. Day 2 is all about you redefining your profile to attract decision makers ready to invest in your expertise. By day 3, you'll have your very own 5-figure sales system to turn contacts into clients. By day 4, we will have you automating your funnel with proven templates and scripts. And day 5, I'm going to teach you how to master the art of discovery calls with a step-by-step checklist and exclusive 5-figure sales secrets. Whether you're just stepping onto the speaking scene or you're a seasoned pro, this challenge is tailor-made for you. And I'm going to teach you the exact strategies that have helped me help my clients make over $2 million in the last 2 years. The journey to a thriving 5-figure speaking and consulting business begins with this challenge. So are you ready to redefine your limits, accelerate your growth, and bask in the limelight of your success? I want you to join the 5 days to 5-figure speaking challenge now. Let's rewrite your success story together. Simply head over to speakingforprofit.com. You're going to click that button that says 5 days to 5-figure speaking gigs so you can get started with the challenge. Can't wait to see you there. All right, now back to the show. So first, I want to tell y'all what team members I have, and feel free to take notes. Y'all, I'm being transparent. This is more talking head. I'm not going to have slides today. But I have 3 team members, three team members right now that support me with my business. The first person is I have an accountability coach. My accountability coach, their primary responsibility is to, they're not accountability coach. That was their former role. Their current role is senior client success coach. So making sure that our clients, you, have as much success as possible within our programs and within our businesses, right? So they help out with everything from curriculum to being on some of our weekly calls to supporting clients on the back end with questions that they may have around proposals or negotiations. And when I am out of the office or not available for coaching calls, they lead those coaching calls to be able to support our clients with the most success as possible. It's really great to have them because that's one of the things that I think when people are trying to take a break, if you do have a coaching program or a business where you need to show up, having someone who can kind of fit in and know your curriculum, know your style, and know your framework is very important. So my current senior client success coach actually is a past client that went through Speaking for Profit Academy when I first started, right? So they've been here from the beginning to now and know our curriculum really well. And I really value that relationship. So when it comes to client delivery and who's taking care of that, they're taking care of that, right? So that's one team member. The other team member that I have is a virtual assistant, a VA, an executive assistant. I would say a little bit higher grade than just a virtual assistant, and they support me with day to day when it comes to calendaring, when it comes to downloading videos off of Zoom and putting them on Kajabi if we need to give it to our clients. When it comes to responding to some correspondences, copy, setting up things on Canva. They do a lot of like the operational stuff, and they're really supportive as well. And then I have someone who's more on the sales and communication side, which is a chat specialist, and that person primarily supports with communication with people who are interested in our programs and services to make sure that nothing falls through the gaps and that people are communicated with when they need to be. Because the thing is this, when you go on vacation, you don't want your business to stop or to become overwhelming so that when you come back off of vacation, you need another vacation because of how stressful it is. So I'm really thankful for that chat specialist. So that's primarily who I have within Speaking for Profit. Now, I have my own speaking and consulting business as well. And sometimes my executive assistant will help with some of the tasks within my speaking and consulting business. But a lot of that is automated because I have systems set up for that. What I am considering doing maybe at the second half of the year, maybe after, 6 months into the year, is hiring a particular VA to support me with some follow-up when it comes to reaching out to folks for speaking opportunities. But I haven't seen an uptick in outreach yet. I'm going to actually start doing a little bit more this month where I need that kind of support. And that goes into our next topic, right? Now you understand what team members I have. Now I want you to get an understanding of when I decide to hire people, right? And this is a great example because I'm thinking about hiring someone in June, right? So I'm thinking about hiring them in June, but we're in February. And again, I apologize for the noise if you could hear it. They're literally doing construction in front of our home. So I'm thinking about hiring them in February, but I'm not hiring them till June. So what does that look like? So what I like to do is at least have 2 to 3 months to plan the hire that I want to bring in, to think about what do I want them to do and what type of problems is that particular hire going to solve for me. What I notice is that oftentimes entrepreneurs will hire people when they're stressed, right? So you'll say, I got to hire a VA because I don't have capacity to do this anymore. And when we hire people when we're burnt out, we don't hire the right people when we're hiring out of scarcity. So for me, I like to have a game plan. So the reason I'm saying June is by June, it'll be the second half of the year. And usually most of the money that I've made in my speaking business is usually made in the second half of the year to prepare for the first half, if that makes sense. So I probably will need someone to support me with outreach, but I'll also have some systems set up that I've already done to be able to teach them. That is the one thing that a lot of people don't consider when they're hiring a team member. You either have to train them or you have to have someone else train them to be successful. They could be the perfect person. They can come with the skill set, but that doesn't mean that they're going to know exactly how to run the business or run that particular operation in the way that you want to. So one of the things I want to hire for in June is someone to support me with my cold emailing when it comes to my speaking business, right? We're outreaching to different companies, someone to follow up with that. There's different softwares that I'm thinking about using. I want to have all the answers to that before I hire that person. I want to know what software we're using, how to utilize it, and I want to create some SOPs. some standard operation procedures for them so that when they show up and we hire them, they have the most success as possible. Because oftentimes when your team member isn't successful, the first thing we want to do is we want to blame them. But sometimes it's us and us not having the proper onboarding for that team member. So I'm preparing some of that right now so that when I do hire this new VA executive assistant, all of that framework is already set up. I'd like to do the job for a little while before I hire someone else to do it so that I can train them, but so that I can also know what I need to ask of them and what to expect. So for example, I currently have a chat specialist, someone who supports with communicating to people when they message me on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever, right? Because some of that stuff gets really, really hectic and there's a lot of messages that come through. Before I even hire them, I did that for myself for at least 2 years so that I could see what type of person I needed, what type of energy I needed them to have, and have some processes set up for them to be successful. Now, that person has been hired and they've been working with S4P, I think, for about a year now. And one of the things that we'll do over the summertime is we're going to start to create even more SOPs for their position so that if I want to hire the second version of them next year, I already have that set up. So write that down in your notes when you're thinking about hiring talent that's really going to be able to support you in elevating your business to 6 and 7 figures. You have to plan out how to train them and have standard operation procedures set up so that they're successful. A lot of people ask me, what is a SOP? What's a standard operation procedure? Think about the job that you may have had in the past. It breaks down exactly how that task should be done. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And it might even have a video or a description to show you how to do it. We want to create that for most of the tasks in our business. And one of the things that I would love to have developed by the end of this year, that I'm going to write down in my notes because I'm thinking about it right now as I'm on here with you all, is having some type of handbook set up for my team and for the different departments that we're building out. I seen a really cool one that one of my colleagues had built last year. And I'm like, this is great for company culture and to just be able to build out. The other thing, y'all, is this in particular, and go and put, if you're getting value from this conversation, this is a higher level conversation. I know some of you not even ready to hire a team member, but you should be thinking about it now. But if you're getting value from this, going to put the word value into the comments. But the other thing to think about, y'all, is we don't want to just think about, okay, I want a team member because I want to be able to take a vacation. Things just might happen in your business and in your life where you need to take a break. You could get sick. You can, God forbid, knock on wood, get hit by a bus. Anything can happen to you and you might need that support. And one of the things that happened to me last year, which I've been more public about recently, is I had a miscarriage, which was really unfortunate. And during that time, I needed to take a physical and a mental break to recover from it. And that was another time that I was able to rely on my team, but it wasn't as planned as a vacation, right? I planned for this trip to Brazil. So I had things in place, different assignments. I wanted my team to delegate and get done. Whereas the emergency when I had the miscarriage was a little bit different. I just had to be like, yo, cancel all my meetings. I need a break and really have some things set up and established so that things could keep going. So for you, I want you to also think about the team and the delegation side of it to be about not just about vacations, but also about emergencies that might happen for you and might happen for your business. It's just so important that we have them set up. We never know what's going to happen in our day-to-day life, and we don't want our business to shut down just because we don't have it set up, right? We don't want that. So one of the ways to hire people that are going to be successful in your business are hiring with patience. I'm thinking about hiring someone in June. I'm thinking about it in February. I want that person right now, to be honest with y'all. I don't even want to do half the work I'm talking to y'all about to hire this person. But I know that it needs to be done in order for them to be successful. So you want to think about hiring with patience. The other thing to think about is transparency and clear communication around what you need. Oftentimes, what we think is we're hiring a VA. They don't need to know about the company's mission and purpose. Actually, yes, they do. Whether you're hiring a virtual assistant, executive assistant, whether you're hiring a contractor, they should know about the values of your business. And that's something I'm even working on right now. One of the things that we're doing within S4P is Speaking for Profit Academy in particular, is we're having an expert speaker come in once a month. And I'm actually going to be recording a short module this weekend for anyone who comes through who's going to be doing a particular training for them to watch so that they're clear on my company values and my expectations of external partners. So whether a person is coming in to do a 1-hour training or they're going to be working with S4P for the next 5 to 10 years, they all need to know about the cultural value and they all need to have an understanding of who we are as a company. And that takes clear communication and transparency. I can't just expect them to know by looking at the website or to guess. And the reason I had this set up, y'all, is I've made mistakes in the past. I remember I had someone come in and do an expert call. We're not friends anymore on Facebook because they ended up just not being a good person, not a good fit, not just for that training, but for who I wanted to even follow. They were, I think, a hypnotherapist at the time. And they came in and they particularly said some stuff that was really fat phobic. I lost a member from it. One of the members left Speaking for Profit because of it. And another person stopped coming to calls. It was like something that was really traumatic for my particular group. And that happened because as a leader, I didn't set up expectations with that external partner. So as I'm moving into this next year, I'm like, okay, how do I make sure that that doesn't happen again? Now, the thing is this, y'all, somebody might get on the mic and just start spewing madness. That's just a part of the work. But what I can do as a leader is make sure that I set up as many things as possible so that that does not happen. And sometimes people need clear communication and information for that to be successful. So that's one example of why you need clear communication and transparency in order to make sure you're hiring A-level talent. The other reason that I'm going to share with you is an example. When I hired my first virtual assistant, I didn't have any operations SOPs set up for them. And I had to end up firing this person because they did not have the skill set I needed for my business at the time. But I didn't know that because I didn't take the patience to hire them. I just hired them because I was stressed out and I needed some support. So I had them doing things that weren't really helping me move the needle ahead and that actually stressed me out more. So when I hired my next person, I sat down and I did an energy audit and I said, hey, what are the things that I actually need from this person? What are the things that are going to alleviate stress? And how do I put this into a system so that I can train them for the most success? Now I have a person that I've been working with for almost 2 years. They're nearly perfect. I can count on them for so much. And sometimes our communication is so clear, we don't even need to get on a phone call. I could just really just tell them what I want and they're able to really support me with my needs. So I shared these examples of y'all of failure because I want you to also know that as you're hiring people, you're not always going to be successful right away, but it's important that you start to set up systems so that you can figure it out and so that you can be successful. It's not about being perfect. It's just about getting better every day. So we talked about 2 ways to make sure you're assembling that A talent: hiring with patience, transparency, and clear communication. The other thing that you want to make sure that you always have set up, y'all, is you want to make sure that you have set up a clear way for you to be able to communicate with your team, no matter where you're at in the world. So one of the ways that I've set that up is that currently my team and I, we utilize Slack in order to be able to communicate with each other. And I'm the type of leader, y'all, I haven't got to the point where I can step away from my business and not communicate with my team for a week. We haven't got there yet. I think if I was to hire a full-time operations person, that might be possible. But for now, what I usually do is when I'm stepping away, like when I stepped away to Brazil last week, is I check in with my team at least once a day on Slack to see if things are going well and see if they need any additional support. And I let them know that they can check in with me so that we have a check-in opportunity. The other thing is because I work with clients and I don't want my clients to feel like I'm dropping the ball, I did take some time, at least 30 minutes a day during that break, to go on to our community. We have a community within Mighty Networks, send out some messages and follow up with some of my clients to make sure that they're doing well and that they're successful. Right? So you've got to figure out for yourself how you're going to do that. So I wouldn't say that I turned all the way off when I was in Brazil. Even when I was in Europe last summer, I didn't as well. I still had to check in, but it's still different from me having to be there every day, right, for 6 to 8 hours a day. So for you, you've got to set up whatever system you want. And I could see our systems evolving to a place where I didn't need to be that much in the mix. But for me, being in the mix is an honor. I have the privilege and honor to work with some amazing clients around the world and to support them in growing and maintaining and sustaining profitable speaking consulting businesses. And I don't take that lightly. So I take delivery of my program so serious, and I don't want any of my clients to ever feel like I'm not supporting them. Whereas some of the other stuff like marketing, I can automate that. Some of our sales processes, we can automate that. But certain things you don't want to automate in your business if you want to have the most success. So if y'all are getting value out of what I'm putting down, going to put the word money into the comments. We're kind of wrapping up for today's training, but I really wanted to talk to you all about how to assemble a team to elevate your business to 6 figures. Before we go, though, for folks who are maybe watching this right now for the first time, or maybe you're just watching the replay, or maybe you are so excited about hearing about this, you are going to share this with someone that you know. I want you to go on and do this. Text the word SPEAK to 323-405-9492. And I'm going to send you over a free training. This free training will give you information on speaking and consulting and how to elevate your business. But every week we host these trainings. This is the 6-figure speaking training, and you will be invited every week to join us for new topics. We're also going to be starting a new group. This is a new community that I'll be starting in the next couple of weeks, so you'll get an invite to that as well. And all you have to do is text me the word SPEAK to 323-405-9492, and I'll send that information to you. We also have a weekly podcast that we do. Attention public speakers, coaches, and consultants. Ever dreamt of booking 5-figure speaking and consulting contracts? In just 5 days, I'm teaching my tried and tested system to elevate your speaking and consulting business. Forget the cold emails, bypass the salesy pitches. This challenge is about building genuine high-value connections. And here's a promise I have for you. With a commitment of just 1 to 2 hours a day for 5 days, you're going to witness transformative results. On day 1, you'll learn how to craft a business strategy without cold emails or paying to speak. Day 2 is all about you redefining your profile to attract decision makers ready to invest in your expertise. By day 3, you'll have your very own 5-figure sales system to turn contacts into clients. By day 4, we will have you automating your funnel with proven templates and scripts. And day 5, I'm going to teach you how to master the art of discovery calls with a step-by-step checklist and exclusive 5-figure sales secrets. Whether you're just stepping onto the speaking scene or you're a seasoned pro, this challenge is tailor-made for you. And I'm going to teach you the exact strategies that have helped me help my clients make over $2 million in the last 2 years. The journey to a thriving 5-figure speaking and consulting business begins with this challenge. So are you ready to redefine your limits, accelerate your growth, and bask in the limelight of your success? I want you to join the 5 Days to 5-Figure Speaking Challenge now. Let's rewrite your success story together. Simply head over to speakingforprofit.com. You're going to click that button that says 5 Days to 5-Figure Speaking Gigs so you can get started with the challenge. Can't wait to see you there. All right, now back to the show. So yeah, we do a free training. This is a live training. You're here live. I'm here live. Every Wednesday at 3:30 EST, and this is the 6-Figure Speaker Training. And then every Monday, we drop a podcast on the Speaking for Profit podcast, where we talk about various topics on how to monetize your message. So you would just go over to our YouTube channel, make sure that you like and subscribe, and you would get access to that. And that's a great opportunity for you to continue to learn with us, continue to grow with us, and continue to grow your impact. This week's conversation was all about unlocking the secrets to getting paid at conferences. So if you're interested in getting paid at conferences or events, go on and check out our podcast, and that'll be a great way for you to stay connected with Speaking for Profit University and learn more about monetizing your message. So today's conversation, y'all, where I was all about tips on assembling a team to elevate your business to 6 figures. And I really wanted to talk about this because I was able to take a break, and I'm consistently able to take more and more time away from the business. What's so great about being in Brazil last week and even traveling to Europe during the summer it really gives you an opportunity as a business owner to get more clarity on what you need to do next. So even when I was in Europe over the summer, that's when I came up with the idea for the 5-day challenge and really stepped into that and got some clarity around that. While I was in Brazil last week, I got some clarity around the type of community that I want to be able to build within Speaking for Profit. So being able to take away time from your business to not be in it and actually think about it and get more clarity really helps you to be able to grow as a leader. And I hope that today I've been able to give you some tips to help you grow your leadership skills and be prepared for your first or next team member. Don't wait, y'all. That's the other thing I want to say is don't wait until you're stressed to hire someone. When you get your next speaking opportunity, put some money aside and hire a VA for a month and just see how it goes to support you with your growth, right? Put together some SOPs, put together some of the things that you know that you don't really want to be working on right now because it's not helping you elevate or grow, but it needs to be done in your business. And hire that person for a month in a trial period and just see how it goes, right? You just never know what could be really successful for you. That's why we have to charge more, y'all, as well. That's why you need to go up on your price as well. Because if you're not charging enough and you're just thinking about paying yourself and not elevating where you can hire your team members, then you're always going to be stuck working in your business and you'll be stressed out. And what I want for you is easeful abundance, and I want you to have a business that's not stressful. So if you want more information on how to continue to scale your business, the blueprint on how to build a profitable speaking business, make sure that you join me next week at the 5 days to 5-figure speaking gigs challenge. We're starting on Monday, February 12th. Actually, we'll be starting on Sunday with our pregame session. And you still have time to sign up. Just go over to speakingforprofit.com/5-day challenge. It has been an honor, y'all, to have this conversation with y'all. I am so appreciative and so thankful. We continue to grow together. And if there's other things that you want to learn about or that you want more information on when it comes to being a business owner or running your own speaking consulting business or even starting your own digital products, which is something else I'm starting to explore and teach people, go on and put that into the comments of this video. And I'll be sure to add that to our spreadsheet so that we can create more content around that. Like I told y'all, we're dropping a podcast every week. We're going live. I'm going live once a week. So we have plenty of time to continue to produce amazing content for you all and give you the value that you need. Because my ultimate goal is to influx the speaking consulting industry with as many diverse people as possible and to help you get financially free. So anything that I could do to provide value for that, I want to be able to do that. All right, y'all, have a great day. And until next time, peace.